Hello and welcome to tonight's Getting Toon. I'm Michael Gracia. This is a special episode, and it's an episode that, although I'm sure I'll enjoy chatting with my friends, it's not a happy day. As you've all heard probably by now, Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman from Batman the Animated Series, passed away today, or yesterday actually. It was announced today that he passed away. Um, I as someone who admitted on the show, I'm not the biggest Batman fan. I've always been more a fan of Nightwing and some of the other characters around him. um, I have always enjoyed this series. This interpretation of Batman was, I was 16 when it came out, and I it was a whole new world just in storytelling and art. As someone who was comic lover, wanting to work in comics, wanting to work in animation. um, Bruce Timm's style was a huge influence on the way I work. But as someone who has animated, being the person who draws the pictures is only one half a character. The other half is the voice, and that voice can bring mannerisms to the character and other things that uh, the animators couldn't do without hearing the sound. Now we had Kevin Conroy come into the role. Um, I heard the story of how he got the role. Maybe we'll share that tonight. But what was I going to say? Sorry. He uh, he brought a level to Batman that I I never knew could exist. And although, like I said, I'm not the hugest Batman fan, I love this series. This series is one of my all-time favorite cartoon series. So much that I have this book that I look through almost regularly. I probably go through this book once or twice, every couple of months. It's just inspiration right here. You know, um, I collect the trades to the comics, that feature him, or his version of Batman. And when I read these stories, and not just these versions of Batman, but when I read Batman in the comics, Kevin Conroy's voice is the voice I hear. And I'm saddened by his passing, even though I didn't know him. But what he helped create really helped me as an artist. So I wanted to invite a bunch of friends of mine, and they're fewer backstage now. More will come maybe later, and I'm offering them uh, time to talk about Kevin, Batman the animated series, how it helped inspire them with the work they do, just whatever they want to share about it. They're welcome to draw during the stream. I may draw during the stream. Um, I just want to have time to talk and pay our respects to someone who helped bring something that we loved to life. So the first person I'm going to bring on is my good friend Andrew Frank Rodriguez, and then my other friend, good friend Alex, who um, I never say his last name properly, and I feel terrible about that. So let's bring them on. Here is Andrew and Alex.
Hey,
Hey
Hey,
guys.
how you doing?
thanks for having me.
Oh, you're
Thanks for
welcome.
having me.
Oh, you guys know you're welcome anytime.
I already started
Um,
sketching, so.
You already started scheduling. That's fine. I'm going to do it digital. This way I can still control everything. Plus, I live for the undo button. Um, I can't live without it these days. So, for those who don't know you guys, let's just give you guys a little background on what you do. Andrew, and then Alex, can you tell us a bit about yourselves?
You go
Oh,
ahead, Andrew. Yeah.
I go first. All right. Hi, my name is Andrew Frank Rodriguez from Andrew Frank Rodriguez Art. You can find me at pretty much all the conventions in the tri-state area, and you're from New York City, Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Also, I'm a game designer and worked for a couple of pretty known companies, DM Labs, Dungeons and Dragons, and right now I'm working as a play tester with a group of people who are doing a game right now. But yeah, most of my work is fantasy based, comic book based, sci-fi, and now horror. So yeah, thank you for having me. Today it's just a somber day for a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially for me.
Um, Let me just go to the comments. First of all, hello, Dylan. Um, David says my feed is a little glitchy on YouTube. I don't know how that could be. Is it the video? Do you hear my fan in the background, or is it a glitch where it's not viewing properly? Just let me know. While he's letting us know, Alex, please tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm one third of Wayward Raven Media. We're a small, really small independent comic creator group. Uh, I'm in Jersey City. My partners are in Connecticut, but like Andrew, we're pretty much at cons like all over the East Coast. I mostly am a cartoonist, but I have I've been kind of dabbling in writing as well and trying to like change my style up a bit. Yeah, and I feel like shameless plug, doing a Kickstarter.
Well, we listen, you guys. I mean, even though tonight is about Kevin, um, we you guys are always welcome to pitch your stuff. That's what my show's about anyway, helping support the indies and
Appreciate
stuff.
that. Yeah.
David says it's fixed. So your Kickstarter, just so we know, your Kickstarter's called.
We suck at comics.
Yeah. Oh, John Gorga, yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. John Gorga's. I've been posting about that all week when he got his yeah.
Yeah, I've been announced him and JJ especially because JJ and I were supposed to work on a different thing a while back, and since that fell through, him and John are working on something for this anthology. And like the premise of this anthology really is to help indie creators to get a second chance for like failed projects. And the funny part of the whole situation is I think John and JJ's is kind of related to like friendship in comics. And the project I was doing for this anthology was what J.J. Barker was supposed to draw, and I wrote for a different anthology. That fell through, so I'm just taking it on wholesale. But like, the whole purpose is just to get other people, get eyes on other people's work. So it is, yeah.
I was gonna ask him about that. I was like, hey man, here's some money. So when is the next book coming out? Like, because I love the concept of it. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, the title was kind of it came out a bit of as a joke when we were just kind of pitching ideas for an anthology, and we thought we jokingly said we suck at comics, and then we're like, wait, what if we do something about getting rejected? And then they just went through there. We started telling other indie creators, and they're just like, yeah, that's perfect, that's great.
Yeah.
So we managed to get a lot of people interested in it. So, and we will be doing a second one once this closes. So
I haven't had a chance to get you guys on my show, but I would love to, get, even though this was a little plug for you, I'd love to get a little quicker plug maybe one day to have you on before it ends. I apologize for if it looks like I'm not paying attention. A couple of the other guests were having issues with the link, and I'm trying to help them out right now.
No worries, dude.
If you're using a Chromebook, you have to go through Chrome. If you're using an iPad's really just crazy. And right now I'm using my phone because my iPad wasn't. So
they had one. He had his email was full, so he didn't get the email with it.
That still happens these days?
I guess so. And they'll pop on, and but anyway, so our guests will be on in a moment. But let's talk a little bit about
Batman.
Kevin. Yeah, let's talk about Kevin first before Batman. How you want to do it? So just in the comments we got, he goes, "I'm not okay with Kevin. Okay, Kevin Conroy helped me through the darkest times of my life. Just devastating. I'm very sorry to hear that." His name is Shinroku, if I'm saying that correctly. I understand how television or shows or things could help people during tough times in their lives. I have a lot of shows and things that have helped me during my medical issues or other things that I've been through in my life. So I feel for you. Whoever wants to start, you guys can
Actually, yeah.
talk about
How are
Batman.
you doing, Michael? I know we haven't talked in a while. You good?
With what?
Just in general. You're
Yeah.
asking us. We should ask you how you're doing.
Well, here's the thing. Overall, I can tell you stuff off the air. I don't get too personal on here, but overall, my health is great for where I am at in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining. I'm not going to complain. I could, but I'm not. It's one of those things where I look at life every day I wake up is a good day.
That's good.
And I want to keep it that way. I love that I get to have a day job that I thoroughly enjoy. I get to do my artwork. Everything is great the way I want to. I'll leave it alone at that. But let's hold on. We got to look here. Dylan says, yes, you're a voice actor. You go animator. Yes, you are, friend. And he also says, you guys know Mark Hamill. That is an I wish.
I wish, yeah.
Yes.
I met Kevin though. I met Kevin Conroy.
Yes, I want to hear about Kevin, your story. I want to hear about, because you all are artists and how, whether it's that show or something like this, influenced you. And I said in the beginning, as an animator for me, I know that the voice is just as important as what I would be doing animating a character. I may make it move and bring something to life, but it's that voice that helps me do it. And they're always just as important. And I've talked to some voice actors about that piece, and to some it was just a job and they didn't even think of it that way. To others, they were just really like, wow, this is really cool. Now, I never had a chance to meet him. There was an opportunity once, but I could tell that story later. I want to hear from you guys. Andrew, tell us your story.
Oh, well, before I got into like I think everyone, Michael knows, and I believe even Alex probably met me once. I've been a convention volunteer for like decades. Like I worked from Mark Carbo to Mocha Fests to like even the big New York Comic Con. I was working at conventions, and throughout my like since '96 on, because I've met Kevin Conroy either helping him with a group of people, managing his lines, or being in the room with him behind the stage while we're just trying to give him service. Like the service back, the VIP sections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've gotten his autograph twice without definitively asking for it, because it was like, here's Kevin Conroy gave you an autograph, and I was like, oh, thank you, because we're so busy sometimes we don't even get the opportunity to get autographs from the big names. But cool thing is, when you heard the man in the room, you heard the voice before you even saw it. Like that's one of the coolest thing. Like when he like, oh, is that a vegan sandwich? It's like, is Bruce Wayne asking for a vegan sandwich? Like it's one of those things where, can you get me some coffee or water? Thank you. And he was very gracious, like all the time when it comes to like just people who like work with him. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's people who have a lot more stories about him just on his campaign. Like I'm not even say campaign trail, because if Kevin Conroy ran for president, he had that voice that he could probably win for president. I'm telling you, it's just like the man was charismatic even without like you. If you didn't see him, he was one of those enigmatic characters who like he's busy when I was younger, I never wanted to bother him. Like I never wanted to bother him, except for once when I had to get an autograph. And he was very gracious. He thank you so much. I gave him like water for like the past 5 days, like for the past 4 days of that convention, and just saying, oh, thank you so much, and tell your people thank you so much. But it's Batman telling you thank you. It's in your mind space and it's in your head space. And so anytime like I'm playing a video game, like when Like one of the events, he was there for Rocksteady when he was promoting the Arkham series games, which to me is like the definitive best Batman games you can find. If you play DCU, yeah, he lends his voice to it, but no, he really, like, you could tell, like, even like the gruntiness, and even like, it's like, to me, it's like, you know, oh, okay, this is grown up, the animated series.
Yeah.
Well, but man, just meeting him and being in his presence, and then just like the voice. Okay, here's a really cool, funny story, because I think I'm probably the one who could probably tell you, unless you also did what I did working in a convention. The amount of children who did not believe he was Batman. And then the moment he opened his mouth, and you could just see like little babies like staring at him, like, and I'm talking about from like 5 to like maybe 7 to 18, like just children from mid, and like they're like, oh, and then all of a sudden, oh, what is your name? And Quentin's, here's the funny thing, like a lot of people want him to call them Robin, which is another funny thing to like, can you make this autograph to Robin? Like, you know, it's just like, I even know a Robin who I believe she's in, I'm not sure which show it was, but it was one of the Jersey shows, but it's one of the huge, I'm not sure if it was WizCon or I'm not sure if it's
the Heroes and Villains one, maybe?
The Heroes and Villains one, yeah, where you have to talk, right? And it's like, oh, hi, what's your name? Robin. And I know she got an autograph from him, and she was like smiling because she was being called Robin all day. So it's like one of the people that I know, like, and there's a couple of people like who also their names are Robin. Oh, how you doing, Rob? Like, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm Batman. I'm right here, Batman. Like, you could just see the people's inner child just pop up.
Yeah.
And I'm to be completely aware that you're in this man's presence. It was an honor, and it was really cool. But the thing is, he was so nonchalant about it, like you said, like, oh yeah, you know, a lot of actors don't know how they will infect society or even pop culture. And even when he was talking about like issues of the day, and he hardly talks about issues of the day, he usually keeps it very, you know, he kept it very professional. He really didn't talk about his personal life. He really didn't talk about like, but man, recently when the kids started coming out and just going to like I said, coming out, going to him, and they would flock to his, like, thanking him because he was like he gave them the courage. And I was like, man, this dude like really helped people that you would never even believe. Like, just one, like the man said, bad day, COVID. What did I watch? The animated series.
Yeah.
When, you know, I know everyone has that like, oh, what do we do in COVID? I was trying to learn like drawing like Bruce Timm, and you know, I got the book and started drawing Batman while watching Batman. It was one of those things where, you know, it was a cool. We finally got to, like, it's sad to say, everyone got to finally relax for a few minutes and get to watch like what we wanted to watch, or play a game that we never we put off, or spend time with family. It's like, hey, you want to see Batman with me? Like, back just for nostalgia. Me and my brother watch, like, you know, for nostalgia's sakes, watch Batman. And to this day, like,
I gotta cut you off for a second because one of the guests came back. I just want to bring him on and introduce.
Sure.
I'll let you continue with your story in a moment, but first, let's bring on. Looks like Skeletor's here.
Hello.
Everyone, we got Ray Felix on.
That's not Ray Felix. That's Skeletor.
It's Death. I'm Death. I just gotta let you know, I took another one of your favorite cartoonists.
Oh, come on, no. Stop.
I thought you were Ghost Rider with a blowout.
Ray!
All right. And joining us soon will be.
You're next. I got your number.
Man, dude, stop taking out people we love, man. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Yesterday, I went to see Black Panther, which is pretty much a memorial to Boseman, and today we're talking about stop. You know, it's like, what the hell?
I got that guy a year ago.
Oh, stop! Right, come on.
Oh man, but yeah. So speaking about Batman, dude, it's just like he was kind of cool. Like speaking with Kevin Conroy, just like for a few minutes, even when he was just being very gracious and thank you, it was cool. Like it was kind of cool because, and I'm gonna tell you now, a lot of convention volunteers were just like flocking to help this dude, and like, and I know like a couple friends of mine, like I said, who names were Robin, were elated because they were like, yes, Batman's calling me. Like, you know, it's one of those cool. It was one of those cool stories. He never got to see me at my table. I went to see him at a Rocksteady. Oh. See, that's the face we like.
I don't know. That mask was really good.
It was working for me.
But yeah. But you know, the thing is like, yeah. But dude, we met a lot of people. Like I met a lot of people, and no, it's just when I heard about it, I was like, no, you guys are lying. Stop playing internet. Stop playing internet like that. I think a lot of people did that.
Yeah.
So that's like my 10-minute story about it. But yeah, meeting him, giving him coffee, having Batman call you coffee, like thank you for a coffee or a water, or like or just help me with like, can you help me just help me with my table and stuff like that. Just like little stuff because you're just a worker. And it was just kind of surreal because right now it's like, wait, I got to spend at least a few minutes with that dude, like just a few. Yeah. And even though it was like, I had to keep it professional because, you know, it's like, oh my God, Batman just say thank you to me. You know, this is really the inner child playing with your, like just playing in your head.
Yeah.
And again, like grown people, women with their kids and fathers, entire families dressing up as cosplayers, you know, like that. Even people want to take a picture of him. People were actually graciously thanking him in the recent years because of, you know, of his battles. And now, like, it's kind of sad. Like, we have to say goodbye to the man, but his voice will live in our headspace. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you read an obituary that says what he died of? Because I haven't seen one.
I think I heard he
cancer.
Something said he had a short battle with cancer. But it sucks. I don't know what kind. It didn't say what kind, if I remember correctly. But yeah, but it was. Alex, do you have a story about it or
a little bit? Because like it's funny because like I was at a con and I'm trying to remember what it was. I can't remember if it was like a Boston one. Definitely something on the East Coast, but like it was like I just remember being at my table, just doodling, right? And remember John Glover?
Yeah,
the guy who did the voice of the Riddler, and he was like on Smallville and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he just walks by my table, and he compliments my stuff and just walks off. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And then for whatever reason, I look up and then I see out the corner because like. Apparently, I didn't realize how close I was to like the autograph area and the celebs. But out the corner of my eye, then I see Kevin Conroy sitting up and talking to a fan, and I was like, I should just go up and say hello. When am I going to get this chance? He's right there. I mean, like I just had a little interaction with John Glover. The other people from the animated series were there too, and I was just like, no, I can't, man, I can't. I was like, I was nervous, and I had to like. Talk myself up to get up out of my chair, tell my partner, like, yo, hold on a second, watch the table, I'll be right back. And I managed to catch him between people. Like, there was nobody in his line. It was like one of the smaller shows, so it's not like you have like a huge lane and you have to pay just to breathe the same air.
Yeah.
I just walked up to him and I'm like, dude, I've been wanting to meet you my whole life and just say thank you for like my childhood. You know, and it just gushed. Because like it was like, I think I had also been going through some stuff recently, so I was like super nervous about it too. And he just stopped and just shook my hand, and it was just like, holy crap!
Did you go like this inside your hand?
I
like
wish.
Yeah, you wish. Right.
Not
right in the palm.
The only person who's ever flirted with me at a con was Riker. He complimented my beard.
Well, I to be fair, everyone compliments your beard. You have
That's
a good
true.
beard, man. It's.
Yeah,
I just
can't
started
grow
growing
beard,
mine again
but,
like 2 weeks ago. So
I tried.
Shaved it off for a interview.
It's okay. Listen, Ray, you got the Iworks hair that no one else can get, and
People call it the Kramer, but it's like
Kramer. No,
I wish I had that.
I like Iworks better.
Yeah, I'll go. But I can see Kramer. I can see the Kramer. Yeah. Ray. So how about you? You have any stories about you'd like to share? Because I know you've actually met him as well.
I did.
I'm the only one on this show who hasn't met him. Yeah, but go ahead. Oh wait, before we do that, we got a blank screen popping in. Let's see. Oh, here he comes.
It's Tom Siaka.
Yeah, if I get to the right monitor. From the nose up.
From the nose up.
Hey, oh, his face is there. It wasn't up.
Hey, with
there.
a monkey.
Hey, what's up?
How you guys doing? How
Hello,
you doing
boys. I'm here now.
And actually, Tom and I met him the same day.
Well, Ray, why don't you share the story since you were about to?
All right. Well, we were doing we got invited to the Bill Finger sign when the sign was being put up in the Bronx by Poe Park.
Nice.
And someone told me that Kevin Conroy was going to be there. I was like, no way. So I brought everything. I had my Tour of Duty DVD. I had my because I don't know if you guys are aware of Tour of Duty, but that was a show he did in the 80s on CBS, which was great. It's the Vietnam. It was basically the MASH for Generation X. It was like
Vietnam, man. Yeah,
Vietnam. It was Vietnam instead of the Korean War, and then I had the Batman animated series books, and I was like, well, I don't want to be a fanboy, so let me put down the CDs. I don't want the DVD. I don't want him to sign too many things.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like a jerk. But then I couldn't help it because when I first met him, nobody else recognized him. He was literally standing in a crowd of people and no one recognized him until I pulled out the Batman books and said, hey, can you sign this with a Sharpie? And then people saw him signing the Batman books. They're like, who is this guy? I was like, it's the voice of Batman. And then he got flocked.
Oh, Ray, you are such a problem.
So both of my books, I still have them, the animated series books signed by him. I almost sold them last year. I'm glad I didn't now.
I will say this. I've been to Ray's place and he has a big Batman collection. Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of
cool too.
What?
Yeah. I sold a lot of it in the past as well.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, figure-wise, just action figure-wise, a lot of Batman stuff. Yeah. Not just animated series, but just Batman in general.
Yeah.
So,
Ray is a lot of Batman stuff.
I used to have a lot more, and I got rid of a lot of it when I went to college and when I moved out. I'm always getting rid of a collection, and then it always comes back to me. Yeah. It kind of like comic book boxes. I'm
building a collection. I have no room for it.
Yeah. But I did tell him that I was a big Tour of Duty fan, and he didn't know it. Now, here's a flip side story. I met the other guy who was involved with the Batman anime series in San Diego, who's just hanging out.
Bruce Timm.
Bruce Timm. Yeah. What was funny that when I met Bruce Timm, I was so nervous, like Alex was, that I was like, "Hey man, I love everything you do, your films and stuff," and I was like, especially Tour of Duty. So I was like, wait a minute, no, it's Bruce Timm. And he just looked at me. He was like, "What?"
Oh my god!
Was it the last time you were out in San Diego you saw him?
No, I saw.
When did you see him? The last time you were out in San Diego?
2017 or 2016. Yeah, my first one was 2015. So I think it was either first or second.
So, yeah, I'd love to meet him. Yeah, he's cool.
You met him. We have a picture together.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we did meet him.
Yeah, you were with me. We took a picture.
I'm talking about Bruce Timm. I'm talking about Bruce.
Oh no, not Bruce
Timm.
No, not Bruce.
No.
Yeah, I was with you with Kevin Conroy. In fact, I think actually years ago, like in the 90s or the 80s, I was at a party in Manhattan, and I think actually I met him there because I used to hang out with all these actors and stuff, and I met him there. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I recognized him immediately when I saw him. I said, "Oh shit, it's Kevin Conroy." I said, and it was cool that he came. I mean, he just came on his own. He wasn't being paid or anything. He just came on the subway. He just wanted to be there.
He's a subway. Izzy.
What?
Just wanted to say, well, Izzy.
Yeah, he's Batman. He's making on the subway.
Yeah, Izzy's
Right.
right.
D-train, man.
Yeah.
He lives in Manhattan.
Well, not anymore.
But very nice guy.
That's because this guy got him.
Stop. Here I'll tell you my story real quick. So back in 2019, I was going to go to a Comic-Con. Now, as you guys know, you've all met him, I believe, but I'm good friends with Marty Grabstein. He's the voice of Courage the Cowardly Dog. And Marty was doing a show in New Jersey. And Marty's like, hey, do you want to come hang out? Just be at the table, help me out. We'll go out to dinner, just have a good time, just have a fun day together. I said, sure. So I was going to go pick him up and take him to the show and just hang out. And Kevin was supposed to be there. And what ended up happening to me was I ended up waking up really sick. I was dehydrated. I had to go to the hospital. It turned out I had pneumonia from doing shows for like 2 or 3 months straight. Every weekend I was basically away. I think I had 1 weekend free up until that day. So I ended up getting sick. And I called Marty. I'm like, I can't take you. I'm really this sick, whatever. So he had to get you however he got there. But Kevin was supposed to be there with, I think, Lauren Lester, who was the voice of Dick Grayson, Nightwing, Robin type of thing, who I've met before. And he's a really nice guy. But I was supposed to meet like a bunch. I met the I forgot her name now, the woman who played Poison Ivy. We actually had a really cool
I know. I met her too. She's great.
About writing. She actually wrote, I think, like in the 80s, like Love Boat episodes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of me and her mostly talked about writing. But yeah, no. So I missed my chance at meeting him because I got sick and spent a week in the hospital. But I did get to meet other people from the show. At one New Jersey show, I actually had lunch. I always find this fascinating. I had lunch with the Flash, Dick Grayson, and Superman. Dean Cain was at the table. John Wesley Shipp was there, and Lauren Lester. So,
pretty funny.
I had lunch, and actually, the Dean Cain story. My friend and I were in the green room of this show, and it was Garden State Comic Fest for those who are wondering. We were at the in the green room getting coffee in the morning, and there was this guy sitting down there just reading the paper, and the show was going to start in like 10 minutes. So me and my friend were like, "Oh, we got to get to our tables," and somebody turned to the guy sitting down and said, "Hey, aren't you going to go to your table?" It's like, "Nah, it's not gonna pick up till at least 11. I'm just going to sit in here and just enjoy." And he just continued reading the newspaper, and he just started, and I forget exactly what he said, but he just started telling jokes. And we were cracking up. And as we were leaving, we turned to say goodbye to him. And he's like, "See you later, guys. Have a good show." And we turned and looked, and it was Dean Cain. And the dude was one of the funniest guys I ever met. And then
that's the Trump supporting Superman. Yeah.
Hey,
he's a nice guy.
You have to say it, Ray. I was about to say I wouldn't stop. I would floor my car sometimes.
No, listen, dude. Listen, here's the thing. I don't get involved in people's politics. If they entertain me or a good person to me, a good guy, I'm okay.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No, I have real different reasons. That's all. That's all.
But the guy was really awesome. Anyway, I want to get back to Batman. I want to get back to Kevin, obviously. because this is really about him.
Yeah.
So I mentioned in the beginning of the show that when I read any of the Batman comics or anything, he's the voice I hear. But I also hear him when I'm reading just regular Batman books.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys the same as me, or is you guys hear someone else?
Pretty
in the
much,
comics?
yeah. Pretty much.
I mean,
when I see these Batman movies, I'm kind of disappointed that they don't sound like him.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I think what they should have done, like in the Dark Knight trilogy and Justice League, they should have had him dub all the Batman voices. You know?
Get behind that.
I'm sorry. Tom, can you say that again? What they should have done is
Oh
what?
yeah, okay, hold on.
You broke up a little bit. Sorry.
Okay. The Batman movie, all the Batman movies should have been, when they have Batman show up, he should have dubbed the voice.
He should have dubbed the voice.
I think so, yeah.
So
I mean,
like the Dark Knight or whatever.
Yeah, especially the Dark Knight,
voice.
yeah. That would be great, actually.
Or like you know, the Justice League movies, it should have been like his voice.
Especially
when you watch the CW Crisis, he actually got to play Old Man Bruce,
which is amazing because it's like they basically gave him basically a good mock-up of the Kingdom Come outfit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wait, he has the neck brace, and I was like, oh, this is bad. We got a bad Batman over here.
Because you guys started drawing already?
Yeah, Alex, hold on. I'm going to give you the screen so we can see it better. Okay, let me get you the screen.
I didn't know you guys started that yet.
We started at the beginning of the show.
In hindsight, it looks more like Dad Bod Batman, but still.
I love it. I love that. I'll show you. Let me stop my.
Nice.
I'll show mine real quick. That's what I'm.
I didn't start.
Nice.
So.
I'll show you mine.
That's right. I'm being lazy. I'm not drawing shit.
I'm not done yet, but
let me get you the screen here. Hold on. Loving it.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to put like a D&D spin into it, like a fantasy spin.
Nice.
That's fine. That's your wheelhouse, right? Do play to your strengths, man.
Let's see that. I
would appreciate this, Andrew. So
you picked it up too fast.
A couple years ago, when I was running a Star Wars D20 game, I mixed in all like DC and Marvel characters, and one of the guys I had was the Bat, and I basically made Batman a Mandalorian.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you pretty much have to. Yeah. You pretty much have to. And the rules of if you're playing Edge of Galaxy, if you're playing the new versions of it, or you're even playing the D6 version, the West games. Yeah, West. Man, it's West End games. Yeah, thank you. too many studios in my head. But yeah, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, I know for a fact that there was this cool game that came out. It was a board game, but you remember the animated series board game that came out years ago? Mm-hmm. And it came out just when Batman was being like on its height of like Batman. So you had like Michael Keaton is still like the Batman, and everyone's screaming like Michael Keaton's doing all his movies. And then
that's the Batman.
At the same time, it was just like Kevin Conroy came along, and it was like he pretty much said, "Yeah, I'm Batman." And a lot of people, like, if you have anyone who goes the greatest list of Batmans, and they were like, "Oh, it's Michael Keaton," and you always had that one dude like me, like, "No, Kevin Conroy." Like, you always have a guy in that, and that's like we always have like even arguments in the comic book stores would stop if you mentioned Kevin Conroy. They'd be like, "Yep. Okay, you want like it was."
Anyone who thinks Michael Keaton's the best Batman must be smoking crack, because he was like the worst.
Andrew, hold on. I'll let you guys get in this.
I got Batman on an envelope. I just doodled that real quick. There you go.
Hold on, let me give you the screen. But
I got a piece of paper. I'll do a doodle too.
Yeah, there you go. I got mail it somewhere.
Okay, hold on. Show it now.
Mail it to the Joker.
Right, now you can show it.
There you go.
Very nice, man.
Cool.
That's right.
So, Andrew, I want to say this because what you were talking about, everyone, I've been on other people's podcasts and shows, and and have had this question asked to me is, what's your favorite live action Batman? And the truth is, I don't like any of the live action Batman, really.
Me neither.
I mean, listen, I could say I like Adam West because I grew up as a kid. There's some fondness to it, but Batman has never been treated as a detective, which is how I prefer him to be. He's now like, gadget guy, blow him up. That's what he is in the movies.
My Chemical Romance Batman. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
And I don't like that interpretation of Batman.
That's
So
that's
I
6-7.
think- and when you say Adam West, even though it's campy, he was a detective a bit. He had to solve things, even though it was cheesy, he at least had some detective skills. But when this cartoon came out, and this cartoon brought him back to who he was as the detective, it really was like this show opened the door and opened my eyes to really, even though I read him in the comic, it brought him to a version of Batman that like was even different than what I was reading in the comics. Because at that time it was also highly influenced by the Keaton movie, and remember they destroyed Gotham City and rebuilt it up to look like the Keaton movie and things. But but everyone asks me what's my favorite Batman movie. It's Mask of the Phantasm. I don't care what anyone says. Mask of the Phantasm,
especially with the Akira scenes in it.
What?
with Akira homages,
Oh, I'm sure, but I'm just saying it was, to me, that is the best.
Remember, like Robin's driving the motorcycle and he does the Canada drift.
I was watching something last.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I don't remember.
You don't like Mystery of the Batwoman?
No, not really. I mean,
he's got a body. Yeah, he's got
I don't know about you guys, but like I really like Batman, but when he relent his voice as Old Man Batman in the Batman Beyond series, that was just like, I think that was just like that was like the icing of the cake. And to this day, like even though we got a glimpse of it with the CW show, like I really did want to see a full movie of him as Old Man Batman. Even though they're gonna like, it's gonna give it to Michael Keaton. Great, give it to Michael Keaton, okay?
You know what? I will say this about that. Yeah, he would have been good. My pick has been dead for
Batman,
years.
guys, yeah.
All right.
Tom's got a bet there.
My Old Man Batman.
Yeah, my Batman.
Top pick. Oh, that's great, Tom.
Batman.
Let me give you the screen. My Old Man Batman top pick. I forget how long he's been dead for, but I thought he just looked like the cartoon version was Brian Dennehy.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's right.
Brian Dennehy was Batman?
No, I'm saying
No, he would have been perfect.
I thought he looked like the cartoon version.
What about Ed Asner?
Oh no, not Ed.
No joke.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Ed Asner, Old Man Batman. He's got the
As Commissioner Gordon.
You guys, hold on, one at a time, please. Here, so Alex, I think you were saying something.
Red Fox as Lucius Fox.
Okay. Right.
To me, Ray Liotta.
That would actually be. I'm saying that would actually work. That would actually stop. That would actually work. Red Fox is Lucius Fox. That would work.
There you go.
You guys, let's give Alex a chance.
Yeah, no, I was saying like Ray Liotta.
Batman.
If he didn't have the traitor face.
Ray Liotta would have been
perfect.
good too. Yeah.
I mean, hell, even with it, like
Ray Liotta would have been good. Yeah.
No, you know who I thought would be the perfect.
How about
Batman?
De Niro as Old Man Batman? De Niro.
Little bit.
I remember watching this movie called Hollywoodland with Ben Affleck, and he was in a tuxedo, and I was like, he'd be a perfect Batman.
No one would believe that. No
and
one.
he was playing Superman at the time.
Well,
Ben Affleck's the only guy who's played. Ben Affleck's the only guy who's played Superman, Batman, and Daredevil.
Exactly.
So what I love about it is like Ben Affleck will be the only guy who'll be like correcting WB executives and get fired. Oh wait, that's exactly what happened. He was such a fanboy. They're like, okay, we can't deal with this guy anymore. But I read and write Batman. I am Batman. Like, no. We want to have our own Batman and our own different ways of Batman.
Well, I will say this. I do agree with Ray. I saw him when I don't know what age I was when I said this, but Ben Affleck, I always thought he has that square jaw. I'm like, he would have been a good Batman, And I'm like, he just needs to work out a bit. And then what do? They pad his suit. But
he did get ripped for it.
Yeah, no, I know. He worked out.
I don't know if you guys did. You guys realize that Batgirl was actually Batman versus Superman? A lot of people don't know that. They had a Batgirl and they had a Black Canary in there, but it was just like it's in that apocalypse scene. And actually,
really,
someone actually found a still photo of it, and actually downloaded it of an off-camera shot. I'm gonna show you on my phone real quick. But people were like, I was like, that's Batgirl. And then there was a Robin guy. They're the ones that get shot and he screams no, and then he starts fighting all the parademons,
Why don't you?
But look, this is that's the shot right there.
Message it to me because it's hard for me to see. Send it to me and I'll share.
Move it over a little bit.
She's actually in the film. It's like I remember I had to rewind and freeze it like 9 times. I was like, that's definitely Batgirl. There's a blonde there. She must be Black Canary. And then there was a guy who got shot. That must be like a Nightwing or Robin. But they had the Batman family there in a split second. So,
yeah, they also.
Man, why does WB do that? Sorry.
Go ahead. Who do what?
Why does WB do that? Like they actually have like cast and characters, and then they're just like, I don't know. It's like designed by committee with that last movie. I like the Snyder cut. I love the Snyder cut. I really like the Snyder cut, but it just couldn't. I saw it the first time and I walked out the theater.
They interfered with Snyder. He wanted to. He made a statement a couple of weeks ago. He wanted to use the John Williams theme in Man of Steel. They told him no, we don't want it.
Yep.
He wanted to use the John Williams theme as for continuity, and then they said no. So
just
now
like they cut out
Henry Cavill, he's back, and Henry Cavill wants to use the John Williams theme. He's got the curl in his hair now.
Whoops.
He's got a brighter costume. Everything is good now.
Right? It's like you got actors who kind of respect the content.
Right?
Yeah, look at that.
You gotta respect actors who like I've read like when Harry Cavill like, hey, I want to be Superman, but here's what I want. We have to at least, to me, like the Superman in my head and the voice of Superman, even though Tim Daly was there, it would still be Christopher Reeves. It would be not Chris Reeves, but it would be Christopher Reeves. It would always be because I grew up with that Batman. I grew up with that Superman.
Here's the thing. It's funny you say that because with Batman, I only hear Kevin Conroy. That is it. But with Superman, I could hear anyone. I'm not one of those people who say this Superman is my Superman because I grew up with Chris Reeve. I watched the George Reeves. I saw the Kirk Allen stuff. I watched the Dean Cain. I watched the cartoons with Christopher Gerard Gerard Christopher and George Newman. Like I mean, you guys know me. I'm a Superman fan.
Yeah, the new Superman series is not bad.
And the new one too. Yeah, the new one's pretty good. Although it's rumored it might get canceled now. But
really, they're gonna cancel it?
It's rumored because all the CW stuff is like just they're
yeah. I think they sold CW or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's all gonna go away. This will probably be the last season. They're filming it now, the 3rd season. That'll probably be the last. Unless somehow magically
they canceled Stargirl.
Yeah, Stargirl
What a mistake.
Unless magically they decide to put it on HBO Max, but who knows? They keep changing things day by day.
I remember with Stargirl, I was at a show and John Wesley Shipp was there, and we were talking about the series because I'm a JSA fan. I love Golden Age, Silver Age comics, and he told me, and the reason I'm saying this now because I don't think it was announced back when he told me, but it was announced recently. They shot two different endings, and this way, if they got renewed, they would go with the cliffhanger, I guess, and if they didn't, they had an ending, and they said they're closing it up. So,
well, it's good that they were able to do that.
Yeah, it was nice. It was room because they didn't know what was going on with the network and stuff. So, but yeah, no. So that's I mean they do a lot of crazy stuff, but just with the Superman stuff, I'll watch anything with Superman in there. I like all the versions.
Hey, look at this! Look at this. Zack Snyder reveals Batgirl would have had a big role in the Snyderverse. My idea was that after Batman sacrificed himself, Barbara would fill that window until the child of Superman and Lois, who has no powers, would become Batman when he was of his age. This is what the picture they got here.
Hold on,
That's a good story.
Hold on, Ray. Hold it up a little longer.
It's almost like Zorro, like.
That's a good story.
That doesn't look like Zorro.
I said the story. Zorro dies and his son takes over,
Yeah, it's like the son of Zorro, yeah.
Then you have the Legion of Zorro and all that stuff after. That looks pretty cool, right?
But it does sound like a cool story. That would be a cool story. I mean, she grows up to be like Oracle and also like...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well,
isn't that
wasn't that the thing in the Batgirl movie or something that she's going to take over?
There was an Elseworld story like that too. There was an Elseworld story where Superman was born as Superman becomes Batman. McFarlane just released that figure actually.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good story. I had a bunch of those.
Eating bullets or something like that, right?
I had the Elseworld. I had the Elseworld Red Sun. I had the Elseworld where it was like a medieval Superman.
That's the one I have. I have the Elseworld mini Superman. And as well, Elseworld Batman, where he was in that same comic as the Black Dark Knight or something like that.
And I had where Batman became Green Lantern.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one too.
I like the.
I have to look at my trade box.
I like the Chaykin one. I like the Chaykin one, the Chaykin Elseworlds where. It's a Batman in the 1930s fighting Nazis.
Oh, that's cool.
And Red Sun was good too.
Red Sun, that was good. I had that book. So Mel G says, I'd rather not have a Batgirl movie if it's too different from the comics. Now, I will say this: if you're making a superhero movie, it's always different than the comics.
Yeah, they're never gonna
always different.
Well, no, what? Yeah, I sat through Batwoman. I thought it was I thought they had the right cast for that. I absolutely believe that was a cool cast. And then they changed her to another cast. Then they changed Batwoman again to another cast member because of the actress hurting herself really badly. But I get why people want. Well, I want my Batwoman. I want my Batgirl.
I like the Batwoman show. Finally, it started getting good third season, and then they canceled it.
Well, that's how I had to see it because I had Max. I was working when that show was on, so I always I missed a lot of my CW shows. Once I got Max, I just went like, okay, time to watch all my old. Now, well, the cool thing is, like, even with going back to Kevin Conroy, like even the games had their own kind of cool universe that you can actually almost like feed off on, and they had their own little cinematic movies. So like even that is like a cool like content of its own, and it's a universe of its own. But man, yeah, I absolutely agree. Like what they just said, man. It's just like my Batgirl is still Oracle. Like I want that Oracle back in. Like, Birds of Prey back in the day, the show from back in the day. Yeah, Batman is missing, so all the kids are here.
Early.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Birds of Prey on like the CW website, and it's like it was a good show.
It was a good show. It was actually
it came out too early.
It was the early days. Yeah, it was the early days.
Came out too early.
But instead of Nightwing, they had Night Stalker, which I thought was cheesy. I hated that.
Oh yeah, we can't. Again, we can't. We don't get everything we want in these shows. Man.
Yeah, hey, listen, I have what was I gonna say? I've never been happy with a lot of the superhero movies. I like the stuff I end up liking people hate. Usually it's like, oh, you don't know good movie type of stuff. But I just find when they transfer over characters to film, they lose what the essence of these characters were. And it could be it could be better. That's what it is I don't like when they lose the essence of the characters. I don't mind changes if it's for the better, but I don't see the changes
you know what would be a good movie?
Like for the better, yeah.
A Superman movie where he fights the Toyman and Mr. Mxyzptlk, and Toyman could be Mr. Bean.
I would, what I want to see? I want to see Superman a little more sci-fi. Mongol is one of my favorite villains on Superman, and I'd love to see like a Yellow World story, But let's get back.
Supposedly,
to that,
the next Superman movie is gonna have Brainiac.
Well, I'd like that too. They've been talking about that for years.
Yeah, for years. Kevin Smith.
Yeah, well, I think now it's going to happen because I think Henry Cavill mentioned Brainiac, so
yeah.
Brainiac. I think it's going to happen now.
The one with Nicolas Cage was Brainiac as well.
And polar bears.
Yeah.
It's not very
what did you guys think of the Black Adam movie? What did you guys think of the Black Adam movie?
Huh?
Yeah, if you guys didn't see the Black Adam movie, it's really good.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's
good. Yeah, it's really good. It's entertaining.
You guys, hold on. I got someone who wants to come on and tell some Kevin Conroy stories. I know he has met him a couple of times. I'm just waiting for his camera.
Is that Mike Lopez? Is that Lopez?
Actually, it is Lopez. Yes, you're right. Let's bring on Mike Lopez.
Lopez, you
Yay! Mike. I actually met Batman the same day. One of the conventions that Lopez actually met him. Because I think it was the one in 2011 or 2012. I think the first time I met you was like, or
yeah. Well, I it's funny. So I've met him God knows how many times.
Right.
I was just with him with our good buddy Marty in July. We saw him and he was great in July, honestly. Yeah. He was great in July. Okay, you guys can hear me, right? I hope I'm not yelling.
Yes.
Congratulations, by the way.
But yeah, so what?
Mazel tov, by the way.
Mazel tov.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm up at this. I'll give a little plug here. I'm up at the Saratoga Comic-Con up in Saratoga Springs. I'm there right now. I'm in the hotel chilling. I saw this live. I said, "Let me come on." But let me tell Mike.
What they have a Comic-Con in Saratoga?
Yes, it's been
ongoing. That's a good one.
At this very moment.
Here.
Wow.
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, you could drive up this weekend, right?
Holding out on us, Mike. I thought you were representing us.
Yeah.
I thought you were our agent.
So how was your show on the 29th, Mike? How was the show on the 29th?
Listen, it was.
Oh my God!
We just want to know.
I'm just because
ours got canceled.
You guys are mean.
I wanted to come and talk about Kevin Conroy. No, listen. The show on the 29th at Royce C. Ketchum High School in Criticon. We had probably close to 1,000 people come through there.
Wow.
It was packed from like 11 o'clock to about 1 o'clock. It was like a solid flow of people. Vendors were not seeing two faces more than once.
That's good.
Which was great. Our next event will be December 3rd, plug at the Poughkeepsie Galleria. So I'll talk to you guys about that off air. But
I can't do that one.
Let's talk about Kevin Conroy.
What date is that?
Talk about Batman, yes.
Dude, he'll talk to you off the air.
Okay.
We're here to talk about Kevin Conroy. These guys want to come and make money, Grazi. What can I tell you? They got to sell their Trumpland books.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's right. And where's my copy?
Hey, it's gonna have a second wind when this guy.
We're gonna do a
announces
big pile of them and
Tuesday.
set them on fire at your show.
You guys, no. Let's remove politics. Let's hear Mike's stories.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Well, no. So the first time I met Kevin
Mike, go.
Conroy, and it's one of my favorite stories about him, though. So when I was in high school, I used to make these ridiculous phone calls. Like I was one of those kids who, you know, my parents were working. They were out. My sister was like doing like athletics and stuff, and I was doing comics and TV. Right? It's like you know, like most of us were doing. So this is the day before the days of free long distance calling. So I'd come home from school, and I got wind of what the area codes were in California: 818, 310, 213. So I used to call. I'd dial information, the old 555-1212 before the days of the internet, and I'd be like, oh, 818-555-1212. Kind of have the phone number for Warner Brothers. Kind of have the phone number for Hanna-Barbera. You know. So I would just cold call the studios, and they would send me all this neat crap in the mail, right? So let's go back to '92. So I was in like in ninth or 10th grade at that point, and I called Warner Brothers, and I'm like, hey, you got this cool new show called Batman the Animated Series on, and do you have any cool like press kits or like promotional items for it? So they sent me this 8x10 glossy photo, and there was like, there was this stuff written on the back of it. I had no idea what it was, right? So fast forward to, I guess, what Andrew was talking about, maybe like, gosh, the early 2000s or mid 2000s, right?
Yeah, like way when I first met you was like 2006 or 7, man. I thought.
Was it when he was doing? Because I know at New York Comic Con, one of the times I met him, and again, I met him so many times. Was this when he was? I think he was signing the video game posters.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's so good. It was that time.
The Rocksteady, yeah.
Yeah, and Andrea Romano was there with him.
Yep.
Who, of course, is a legend in the world of voiceover. You know, she worked on all our favorite shows from that time period. So I already had Bruce Timm and Paul Dini sign this photo that I got, almost like 15 years earlier. So I get up to Kevin. Andrea didn't see it yet, so I get up to Kevin. And I'm like, can you sign this? And he's just like, oh my God, where did you get this? You know, and I said, I called, they said this to me. So he turns it around. He's like, this all this writing back here, this is one of the original prints that they gave everybody from the show. He's like, I have one hanging in my house. And he calls Andrea Romano over. He's like, look at this. Look at that. And he was just amazed by it. So the both of them had signed it. So, I mean, that's one of my favorite Kevin Conroy moments. Of course, this past summer we had a great Kevin Conroy moment.
Man, whip it out. Let's see it.
I'm not home. I'll post it.
He's
Saratoga. I don't carry it with in
Saratoga. Yeah.
I was on the road when I found the news out today. But of course, the great memory this summer. Of course, the humor behind this one. It's like, can you make that happen? Can you make that happen? So. Yes, and Marty, I know did a post, or he should be doing a post about this too. But I introduced Kevin Conroy and Marty this summer. They got to meet at Terrificon, which was really cool. And
Nice.
so yeah, and when I saw him this summer, I know he's just written, and I'm gonna tell you, I kicked myself so bad because I was looking for it, because he was in the green room, I was in the green room multiple times, and we were very cordial to each other. I was looking for that Batman story that he had just written. The one that it just came out in DC Pride, I think it was this year's DC Pride.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Kevin Conroy wrote a Batman story?
Yeah, I posted that on my page.
Yeah,
I posted that story on it. It was a good story.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit about it. I didn't.
Was he gay? Was he gay?
He was.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. I didn't know that.
Just recently came out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a big article about that.
Yeah. So, but I was complimenting him on his work with the story and the message behind it. So I kicked myself because I didn't have a copy with me, and nobody at Terrificon had one. So I mean, I would have loved to have had him sign a copy of it, but what can you do? But anyway, so there's some cool Kevin Conroy stories. But
he didn't try to give you a roofie and take you back to the room.
Oh, come on, stop, Ray.
The bat roofie.
I mean,
Ray,
truly,
stop.
he is the quintessential Batman voice. Like Razia wrote in his post earlier today. Like when you read Batman or you think of Batman, you think of his voice. You don't think of
you don't think of Casey Kasem with the Robin and the
no. Casey Kasem was Robin.
It was Robin, yeah, but who did the Batman?
That's Scooby, dude. Scooby.
Well, no, on Super Friends, Casey Kasem was
Casey Kasem was Robin.
And wasn't he? Yeah, throughout the whole run of
he was multiple characters.
The guy that was Batman, I can't think of his name, but he was like an old time actor.
Alan
Elwood
that was
something.
Alan
I think.
Oppenheimer.
Olin Soleil.
Yeah.
Olin Soleil.
Yes,
Wasn't
yes.
Alan, wasn't who's his name? Alan Oppenheimer.
Olin. O-L-A-N.
Wasn't he Batman though in one of the versions of the cartoon?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
the Filmation Batman. Maybe he was in.
Well, so
And then-
I believe.
I like how we're all going back and forth, but nobody's looking it up on their computers.
No, it was Olin. So for the Super
There's so
Friends.
many names.
But I know. Listen.
Hold on. Mike knows voice actors. Let's let him talk.
No. So the Filmation series. So there was Batman Adventure. There was like the Batman show, or whatever, and then there was the new Batman Adventures, and then that kind of ran simultaneously alongside the Super Friends. That's why some of the villains couldn't appear. Olin Soleil, who I guess was I forget what else he was in. He was the voice of Batman. He was the voice of Batman.
Oh, he did radio in the 40s and 50s and TV shows. He was on Captain Midnight TV show, and he was on Have Gun Will Travel as the hotel manager. I mean, he did a million things.
But in the last two seasons, of course, obviously Kevin Conroy, quintessential Batman voice. But when they switched over, when they went to when they were trying to tie into the toys, and they did the superpowers. So the last two seasons, they got rid of Olin Soleil. He played whatever the professor's name is with Firestorm. I can't think of his name. Who's the guy who's the professor?
Why am I blanking on his name now? Professor. Holy crap! I'm blanking on his name. It's driving me nuts.
Well,
Dr. Martin. That's it. Thanks, Mel.
But so Olin Soleil took
something.
And
Martin Stein. That's it. Dr. Martin Stein.
Dr. Stein. And so Olin Soleil took the voice on for the last two names of superhero like that. But those last two seasons was, of course, the other quintessential Batman, Adam West.
Yep.
Adam West. Yeah.
Oh, let's see that. Pull that up again. Let's see that.
I saw Aaron's message. I'm like, let me discover what I'm doing.
Hold on.
Hey, he inked it. That looks good.
That's very good.
This whole thing. There's too many people on tonight for me to just quickly do this. Hold on. Do it again.
Michael, where's the drawing?
That's right. I'll show you my drawing in a moment. That's nice, man. I like that.
That looks very good.
I'm trying to get good at hatching.
I'll show you. I'll share my screen right now.
Yeah, I got a bunch of that shit here. Look at that.
Nice.
So I'm in. Filling in some
a nice
black
close up of Batman's crotch.
Hey, that's like a Joe. That's like the George Clooney Batman, with the crotch shot.
Anybody drawing
I was filling in
some nipples on.
I was filling in some black.
Oh, nice.
So
it's like Joel Schumacher there.
That's right.
It's really good, Michael. I like it.
There we go.
Look, there you go.
I'll do it quick. Just. Just filling it in for you guys. There you go.
Since we're talking about Kevin Conroy,
Nice.
I don't know if you guys know, but Michael's having a kid, Kevin Conroy, and it's his second kid. Congratulations, Kevin Conroy, Michael.
Hey, by the way, that's Lopez, not Gracia.
Yeah, Lopez, yeah. Congratulations, Kevin Conroy. Lopez.
Yes, Mike.
So that looks very good.
But,
That was a good Batman.
That's a very good Batman. Why didn't you bring that to the show?
I didn't draw it then.
Yeah.
Then who drew it?
No, at the show. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna just take the screen for a second. Let me get up and get this. But
that's a very good one. I mean, the one you did at the show was good too. That was pretty good.
We had Ray hosted a show for the Bill Finger. It was I have it on my wall. What was it called? It was for Batman Day. Bill was it Bill Finger and Beyond? It was called. And I ended up doing a very cartoony print in the Jay Ward style because when I was trying to figure out what the hell to draw, I was watching Bullwinkle. I'm sorry for the.
I love the piece. I didn't want to give it back to you.
You could have kept it. I mean, listen, it's digital. I would have charged you $100 for the frame, and you know that.
No, I mean, I didn't want to give it back to you. I didn't want to pay for it either. It's not to keep it.
And by the way, if you're still watching, David Abreve, you have a certain amount of time to get here to pick this up, or this goes up on my wall. Okay. I love this piece. We'll hang out soon. I got to get this back to you. You did a fantastic.
Wow, that's beautiful.
If he doesn't take it, I'll take that off of you.
I
How much?
It's digital. David, if you're still in the comments, still watching, we're auctioning it off to the guests on the show tonight.
No, it should be a prize.
I'm going to start the bidding. What do you think? 50? It's a digital print, nice frame. I think this is glass.
That's a really beautiful Batman.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job.
Wait, who did that?
His name's David Abreve.
Okay.
You guys check his stuff out. Follow him on Instagram. His work. I'll tell you right now. I really do believe.
Drop his links in the
give
chat.
him a few years. When he gets it into the mainstream world, he's going to be like the next big thing. I think. I truly believe that.
Drop his links in the chat. That way we can.
I'm going to go pull it up on Instagram. Let me take me off full screen here. Oh, we don't need Batman anymore. Remove that.
We always need Batman.
No, I'm saying my Batman. What did she say? She goes. I
find it interesting that how Superman used to be the main thing for DC, and then Batman basically took over permanently, and everything's Batman. There must be like 9 titles of Batman.
It's heroes change with the times, because I remember back in the day on Marvel, like it was Wolverine every freaking thing. Now it's Deadpool everything.
Yeah.
You know the story behind that?
No, what's that?
Do you know the reasoning why that is?
Why Deadpool's more popular?
No, why about Batman? So over at Warner Brothers, there are 2 characters that are just money makers, and that's what the 2 characters at Warner Brothers, which is just printing money, are Batman and Scooby-Doo.
Right.
So that's why all we do is it's all of the DC world. All we get is Batman.
Yeah. You can tell just the sad. Yeah, here's the funny thing. The sad thing is, if you watch Hulu Max and you type just type Batman, you see how many titles of Batman titles that were animated to even movies, and then you type any other DC character, and it's just like maybe an honorable mention, one story here. I mean, I'm still waiting on Animal Man, but that's just me, or even the Red Tornado. But that's just me too.
By the way, I dropped David's Instagram in the comments, so if you want to follow him on Instagram, go for it. He is an incredibly talented artist who does beautiful work.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So, but yeah. Hold on. What was I doing here? Just looking at my drawing. Sorry. So Mike, do you have any other Kevin stories for us, or
that's
you said you met him a few times? So I'm just curious.
Well, I met him obviously, and then there was one other time at New York Comic Con, because we were talking. I was with Leslie, and we were talking to Phil Lamar, and we said hi to Kevin. So.
Okay.
Lamar.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah. Phil
he's always hosting the Eisner Awards.
Yeah.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Phil Lamar's another great guy. What a fantastic guy he is.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't met him either.
Yeah, I'd love to meet him too. I just love like his career.
Yeah.
No, Phil Lamar's like the dude. If you really have if you really want to talk to somebody about like voice acting, and he has a few minutes, and there's nobody bothering, which is like, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when I met Phil Lamar. I was like, hey, people say I'm good at doing voice acting, and what can I do? And he pretty much sat with me and this other girl and just talked about, because behind the scenes they're like, why no one approaches you, and they also tell you don't, like, because you're volunteers, like, hey, you don't approach these guys like if you're asking for anything. But come on, one person started talking and we all just jumped in going, tell us more, so it was kind of like that with Kevin Conroy and with Phil Lamar. Oh my God, I forgot her name. The one who's she does everything. She's also Harley Quinn and all these.
Tara Strong.
What? Tara Strong, another one who is like she's actively tells people, like, she has to me is like, I haven't met Mark Hamill yet and I haven't met the Joker. I've met one of the Jokers, but I didn't meet that Joker. I met the Joker who who was also Bender.
Oh yeah,
DiMaggio.
DiMaggio, yeah. Sorry,
I met Frank Gorshin. I mean, that was.
I met him too, but he scared me.
Oh really? No.
He gave me dirty looks, and I just walked away. I was
you
like,
watch him and you wonder.
We ain't going on.
It's funny. I watched him at a show once. It was I forgot the show. It's the same show I met Adam West at. And
was that Chiller? Because they were at Chiller together with Lee Merriweather.
No. I think it was a Big Apple show that I met him at, and they and Adam West had a really bad joke. I didn't realize his sense of humor was that dull at the time, and like when I met him the second time, I was like able to understand and get his sense of humor. But I was watching Frank, and Frank, I'm watching. I'm like wondering who came first, like him or Jack Nicholson, because they had, like a very similar mannerism at the show, like how you would see, but he was like in his ascot and just like looking really, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess very kind of like proper, dapper. It was very, very, very interesting guy. I liked meeting him too. Anyway, Mike, you were going to tell a story, I think.
No, I was talking about Adam. I have I always have stories.
Sorry, I know that.
This hotel is freezing, so I had to just turn the fan was on. Like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, I'm sure I'd love it. I have to when I go to hotels, I have to like find out what the code is to kind of like hack the thermostat to make it colder.
Jesus Christ, it's freezing cold. It's a beautiful hotel. I'm at the Hilton Garden Inn in beautiful Saratoga.
How far is that from here? Like from where you live? Saratoga.
2.5 hours. 2.5 hours.
So is it going towards Albany, kind of?
Yes, a little bit past Albany.
Past Albany. Wow.
Past Albany. Past Albany, young Raymond. So.
I never been to Saratoga Springs. I know I drove by it when I went to Canada, but I don't remember where exactly it was.
Mm-hmm. You came up north, eh?
Yeah.
But you guys saw you were talking about Adam West. So Adam West, he had a great sense of humor too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize when I met him though, like, because I was in my like early 20s when I met him the first time, and I was like, wow, this guy is really weird. Like when he what happened was he I go up to the table and he's like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm an illustrator, a graphic designer. And he was like, why is everybody here into art? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you're at a Comic-Con, man. Like,
hey, wake up.
I didn't get that he was joking with me. I thought he was serious. And then I met him, I don't remember if I was in my late 20s or somewhere in my 30s, and someone told me about his humor. And then I forget what he said to me that day, but I was like, oh, I got his sense of humor. I'm like, okay, that's good. Like, just, he's so dry, but it works for him.
Well, like the one time I was working at a summer camp many years ago, 20 years ago at least. And so we had a bunch of international folks. So it was like the Super Mega Fest. I was down in Jersey when they were doing it down there. And Adam was there. And I had seen Adam before at Chiller, but this began the strangeness of Adam West. So I took all these people down to meet him and Burt Ward. This was the first time I met Burt. So I said, Mr. West, we're all here. These folks are from wherever they're from. We work at a summer camp. A summer camp? Where? And just he propped up from his table, and we told him he was upstate New York. And then he was talking about it, and then he's like, we need to take a picture. And we all take a picture, and in the picture, he was yelling out craziness, right? Mm-hmm. And he's pointing at me in the picture, and he's talking because the guy who's them. And the last words I remember from that encounter were "Have fun in summer camp, stay out of the swamp." As we were walking away.
I could just hear him saying it in that voice.
I have an Adam West story. I have a funny Adam West story.
Go for it,
I never met him in person, but one year, the first Batman show that I did in the Poe Park, I started taking these Adam West pictures and doing Batman memes about wanting to be a Bronx hero. That Superman wanted to be a Bronx hero. And I just posted them everywhere, and then the next thing you know, Adam West actually put it on his wall. And he was sharing it out. He kept sharing it out. And that thing was so many people clicked on it because of that. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I messaged him. I was like, thanks for, sending that out. So he actually helped advertise the actual show, the art show at Poe Park. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, where I think he lived in Idaho or Iowa, someplace like that.
Iowa, Ohio or something. Yeah, Ohio. Yeah.
Not in the Midwest. And because again, me, 90s Mike trying to get all the information, right? Calling for information. So in the phone book, it was because they talked about this on Entertainment Tonight or something. Information was of no help to me at that point because I didn't have a phone book. But in the local phone book where he lived, to look up Adam West, it would say "See Batman," and when you went to Batman, it would say "And they had that in the local phone book there.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Okay, so I got a comment here. So Mel G says, he meant marker. He says, West once threw a marker at me. It was funny. Only celebrity I ever ticked off.
Why did he throw a marker?
Yeah, why? What'd you do? Please share in the comments.
Adam West is not easily ticked off, but when he is, get out of here.
That's like pissing off.
Don't make me bat to see you.
Why would you want to piss off Adam West?
He is.
I'm waiting for this. Come on, type, man, type.
We lost Tom, huh?
Oh, we did.
Well, you know, true story. What pissed Adam off, and I found this out because he was up in. So, Grazie, you. What's that?
Go ahead.
So you know Gary's show up in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Tom, you're back. Just so you know.
Yeah,
I know Gary. Gary has a great show. Next one's coming up Thanksgiving weekend.
Rex Smith and Lindsay Wagner. It's going to be fun.
I know. I'm a little pissed I can't go.
Where's this at? Where's this
at? We're doing the Lindsay Wagner panel.
Oh, that's
really?
Nice.
But
I wanted to see her and Lee Majors. How did that one go? Were you there for that?
Well, no, not Lee. He's not going to be up.
Oh, I got a Lee Majors story.
It was Lee Majors and her were at a show recently.
Yeah, I think they were down at the one in Long Island.
You
didn't go to that one?
Eternal.
No, is that the one that's this next weekend?
What's that?
No, it already passed.
It already happened. The one they're at together.
Yeah, already passed.
Yeah, that was. I think it was Eternal Con.
Mike goes to every show.
It was Eternal Con, but I can tell you what pissed that. What I don't know if it so much as pissed him off as irritated him.
Hold on, let me get Mel G has commented on what happened. So he goes, he was at the Hollywood Collector Show, got in line to get his photo and his autograph. I didn't know there were two lines, and I cut.
Oh, jeez.
So I guess you didn't get that autograph.
So it's his fault.
So Adam and Bert did a lot of shows together.
Yeah.
Right. And I was actually up at Gary's last show, which was Adam's last show.
Yeah.
But one of the stories told was, Adam and Bert were fantastic friends, and they would do these appearances together. But Adam's biggest complaint, as I learned, because he was up at Gary's show a number of times, which is where I had more run-ins with this man. But one of the last things that was told to me was like, I like doing shows with Bert, but he doesn't shut up about the damn dogs.
Yeah. His dog food. Yeah, he sold his own dog food.
Dude, he had like what? I know from meeting him like a few times. He had like 6 dogs.
Who was that?
His own dog food company.
Yeah, he had like 6 freaking dogs.
Gentle Giants.
And they were like, I was like, I'm surprised. Like, I was like, this dude is. It's like I'm in the back of my head. I was like, this guy's something because at the time, so that dude's like almost hood ready with all these dogs. He had like just big freaking dogs.
Yeah, he's got great things called Gentle Giants dog food. It's available at Target, and I mean, apparently, from what advertises, you feed these dogs and like his Great Danes. That's why they're Gentle Giants.
Yeah,
they live until like their 20s with this dog food, this special formula that Burt Ward created.
Do your dogs eat that, Mike?
2 of them, I swear to God, 2 of them were bigger than him. Like, 2 of them were bigger than him. Like,
What I have a Burt Ward story. A friend of mine that I grew up with got the autograph from both Burt Ward and Adam West, and then Adam West basically paid Adam West, I guess, whatever the price was, $40-$50, and then Burt Ward Burt Ward, signed it, and then they were like, okay, it's like $80 altogether. He was like, what, $80? I was like, yeah, it's $40 each.
Yeah.
I was, oh damn. He says, I didn't have that kind of money. So Adam West was like, don't worry about it. We'll just take the 40. And then Bert said, no, you have to get us the $80. So they actually had a little fight over. Adam West was like, no, it's okay. We just they had a nice conversation about how he grew up with Batman. Adam West is like, no, he can have it. And Bert's like, no, he has to pay. And it went on for several minutes. And my friend was like, man, you're a jerk, Robin.
Jeez. Robin's got bill to pay.
Oh, he got dogs. Release the hounds.
Mel G has a Kevin story. Let's read what it says here. It's a big one. So my favorite Kevin story, 20 years ago, I was at the hotel 2 doors to the right of San Diego Comic-Con. Kevin was at the same hotel. I saw him smoking a cigarette with his shirt tucked out. I wanted to grab it and say, you can't smoke, you're Batman. But I was only 20 and afraid he'd grab me by the throat and say, why do you fanboys think I'm a cartoon? Annibal's on. Hey.
Hey, Arroyo.
What is the coolest? Let's see, go.
I had a cigarette story with Ernie Hudson and Tony Todd.
I have an Ernie Hudson story.
They're both great guys. Yeah.
Oh, I love Tony.
Hey, Tom, did you ever meet Adam West? You meet everybody.
Which, by the way, just as you mentioned Ernie Hudson, I'm thoroughly enjoying the new Quantum Leap right now.
I haven't started watching. My wife's been getting into it because she was a big Quantum Leap fan.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I've been waiting a little bit just to see if how far it goes first, and just I haven't had the time, but I think I've seen the bits with him and he's good in it.
Yeah, and what I will say about him is I'm also like, I don't want to spoil anything, but when you find out who his character actually is, like I felt so stupid because I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Being such a big Quantum Leap fan, like I know episodes from the Scott Bakula era, like games and
yes. Scott Bakula would do the show. I know that for a fact. He's like, oh no, I'm not going to. Yeah, don't worry, someone's going to give you your prize.
He's waiting for them to cut him a check.
He's gonna be there. Grazia, you remember this? They did the sign language episode. I remember this from Quantum Leap. It was like,
I don't remember. I mean, I remember the sign. I don't remember what they did.
That's Quantum Leap and sign.
Hey everybody, it's a little late, but I'm tuning in. That is Joe Ryan.
Hey Joe.
Ryan.
Have you guys ever seen this Tour of Duty, the movie I was talking about before?
No.
It's a TV show with Kevin Conroy. It's 21 episodes, season 1. I'm sure you can get it on Walmart. I think I bought it online. It's really good. It's like a lot. It's an all-star cast. Actually, the chick who played Lois Lane was also a voice of Lois Lane.
Lois.
Yeah. They have like three DC alums in that movie.
Yeah.
That
Terrence
show, like 3 of them.
Caffrey, Joshua Mora, Steve Addox, Tony Becker, a lot of people. Stan Foster.
Mel says he's only
I
watched
mentioned Kevin Conroy last. Miguel L. Nunez. Yeah, a lot of people. Good show, really good show. The unfortunate thing when they put it on DVD, I guess they lost the rights to the Rolling Stones Painted Black, because that was the original opening, and they replaced it with some Andean Peruvian music, which really sucks. So it changes the whole feeling of from fast drums and the Rolling Stones to this very slow-paced, soft song, Yeah. But it's really good. And if you like Kevin Conroy, you want to see him before Batman, he's actually right in the center there. That's him right there.
He actually, hold on, let me give you the screen. But he did a lot of like guest appearances on shows, and
right
I was looking at his IMDb, and
there you go. That's him in the center, Kevin Conroy.
Like I said, man,
I saw his IMDb. He did a lot of guest appearances, like in the '80s on TV shows and stuff before.
Yeah.
And like once he hit like Batman, his career was, from what I could tell, is basically voice acting.
Did you guys get to it? You talked about who the roommates were in college, right?
We haven't gotten to it. I was going to talk about that. In
college, I wanted to talk about that too, because sometimes I get
Juilliard. Here's the thing: he was a Juilliard grad.
Yeah.
And his roommates in college were Christopher Reeve and Robin Williams.
Yeah.
So Popeye, Superman, and Batman lived together for a while.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow. And Robin Williams was almost the Riddler.
Yes.
He should have been Riddler, honestly.
Yeah, he would have been a better one.
they just wanted to get. I'm going to tell you right now, watching the Riddler, rewatching the old series, you could tell that, and even now, hearing from interviews, yeah, he should have been the Robert Williams should have been the Riddler, because I believe Tommy Lee Jones wouldn't have a complete hatred of Jim Carrey in that film. Like, you can actually see it now.
I always say Jim Carrey played the Riddler, I think, the way the Joker should have been played. I didn't like Jim Carrey's appearance, because Jim Carrey plays Jim Carrey. At that time, he was Jim Carrey. He was like one of those actors, when he comes on the screen, he just does the same damn thing. Yeah. And it's like he lacked the range. Listen, he's a good actor. When you see him and stuff later on.
Warner's at that time too, so obviously.
What?
He was under contract by Warner. So they had the Ace Ventura, the Mask movie. It was all Warner stuff, so that's why.
So
my favorite little casting tidbit was before Mark Hamill, they were gonna have Tim Curry be the Joker.
That would have been.
Yes. And John Astin was Riddler too. Remember the guy who played Gomez Adams?
Yeah,
that was.
When was he the Riddler?
In the 60s TV series, he played it. I think once or twice he did the 1-2 part episode or something.
Yeah,
it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, they played it very differently. He didn't.
Yeah.
What blew my mind was finding out that Two-Face. That's cool. Was that Two-Face was like Bull from Night Court?
Yeah.
In the cartoon series. Yeah, totally.
Oh, really? That's
Paul Williams as the Penguin. That was another great.
Yep.
Dude, Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor is just again, I can only hear Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Even with Gene Hackman, who I can also hear him sometimes, but when I read Lex Luthor in the comic book, it's yo, this is Clancy Brown. It used to be Hackman, but now it's Clancy Brown. It's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Not Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I got a story about that too, and I can't. No, that's another show. That's another show.
Lex Luthor, Kevin Spacey, or the guy from Batman versus Superman? Who do you think was?
No, I have a Kevin Spacey story, but that's different.
Are you allowed to talk about that?
Nobody who I used to work for can't talk about that. So let's we'll just skip that.
It's an off the air story.
Yeah.
Well then, hold on. We got who's this? Electric Matt. He says also found out that Conroy appeared in the long-running Dynasty, Matlock, Cheers, Murphy Brown. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, he was in Cheers a lot. Yeah, he was in Cheers and he was in Murphy Brown a lot. Yeah.
He was a character.
See you later, Mel. Thanks for coming on. But yeah, no, he did a lot of. He did a lot of lot of shows like that back. You know,
Yeah, he's a character actor.
Yeah. But then when he got seriously, when he got Batman, he was basically just Batman for the majority of his life there.
Well, I mean, how many seasons compared to that with also Unlimited, Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
Then he did Batman Beyond. So he was just always working, and on top of that, video games and MMO.
Yeah.
He was always working. He was always Batman, always working. Steady pay.
Yeah, good for him.
His last role as Batman was probably in the episode of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who.
Yep.
Was it?
He was in the most recent Scooby-Doo series, Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. He was the voice of Batman in that. Where Daphne went to go visit her Uncle Alfred.
I never. That's your Daphne impression?
That's my Daphne impression. How did I sound like her?
Not at all, dude.
I tried. It's the alcohol. Uncle Alfred.
Tom, you're on mute. You never met Adam West?
Is he sleeping?
No, you're on mute. He doesn't realize this. You're on mute. You have to unmute yourself. I think you have to unmute him for him, Tom. I mean,
I can't. If he muted himself, I can't unmute him.
I think he's frozen or he fell asleep.
I think he's asleep. No, his eyes look closed, man.
Did you pass out? Tom, you pass out?
He said, "Screw you guys. You're making too much fun of me." But,
he's off to dreamland.
But wasn't he on the show once where he kind of fell asleep?
No, he just had the camera so close to his
nose. The camera yeah, that's right. Yes. That's what it was.
It's like you're like, okay, well, you're all clear. You got a clean bill of health there. No boogers.
No boogers.
So Lopez, are you gonna name your kid after me or what? You know,
Ray Felix?
Yeah, just Ray. Or you can name him Bronx. Could be his middle name.
I will tell you, this is a non-Batman story, but so Dawn's from England, so yes. we were watching this summer. So I don't know if you guys have it. There's this thing Pluto TV. Where
I watch it.
Yeah, like they have channels of just like you can watch like the Happy Days channel and stuff.
Yeah, it's a cool channel. Yeah.
So I saw Dawn being from England. She has not seen a lot of our shows. So we were watching The Jeffersons this summer.
Oh, that's a good show.
First of all, her first comment is she's like, "How old are they supposed to be?" And so I'm like, "Well, Archie Bunker, George Jefferson, they're like in their mid-40s." And she's like, "That is a hard mid-40s."
Yeah, it is.
That era was a hard. Those few eras are a hard era, man.
He was like 45 when he started the first season.
I know, and it looks like he's in his 60s, right?
He's got city miles on his face.
Right. So needless to say, I just goofing around with Dawn and my parents. I said, we should name this baby a perfect first and middle name, Lionel Jefferson Lopez.
Oh my god!
So rewind to about 2 weeks ago. I was very excited because over at Chiller Theater, Marla Gibbs and Berlinda Thompson, the last two surviving cast members, Florence and Jenny, who was Mary's wife. So we went and we saw Marla Gibbs, 91, 92 years old, fantastic lady, Then we get over to Berlinda, who played Jenny. And so I said, you were married to him, and because of course everybody's looking at Dawn and being pregnant. I said, I had this suggestion, for the name Lionel Jefferson Lopez, and from Lionel's wife, she's like, no. So,
Never.
Did she give you a reason?
Well, because it's stupid. That's why. I'm
just asking.
That's a good reason.
Because I was
a very logical reason.
I was doing it to be asinine and exactly what, because I was just messing with everybody, but we heard it from the Jeffersons themselves. So the baby's name will not be Lionel Jefferson.
So if George Jefferson was alive, he'd be calling you and Dawn the zebra couple, like he does in the show so many times. We're not making any zebra.
Ironically enough, we watched an episode where Jenny was giving birth, and in the hospital, George asks that question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I said to Dawn, "Is that what I'm going to be like?" And she's like, "You better not be."
So Tom, we were asking you were on mute. Have you ever met Adam West? Because we know you met.
Now that I woke up, I have an Adam West story.
All right, there you go.
I've met Adam West many times. I went to lunch with him once at some show in Jersey, but the last time I saw him was at Chiller. A few years ago. Like the last time he was there, and so I think you may have seen it. I did that. Bert, Adam, and Julie. So I made up I made prints and I framed them, and I gave them to the three of them. So I gave one to Adam, and he was very nice. It was great, whatever. I gave it to Julie. She loved it. She put it up so everyone could see it. So I gave it to Bert, and he kind of put it on the side. He goes, all right, and he was like, could give a shit.
Yeah, whatever.
So the Bert always was an asshole.
Yeah,
whatever. Like,
that's why I'm not sharing the stories, man.
Like,
that's why I'm not sharing
fuck you and your dog.
Well, it's because it wasn't about the dogs.
No. Other stories.
Yeah,
he always talks about the dogs, but it's like I can't talk about any of those stories. Like, because here's the thing: like, making people cry. You could just there's just some celebrities who that person likes to make someone cry. Oh, that person likes to make somebody cry. Beam me up, Scotty. That guy used to make people look at Sky. I mean, everyone. I think I had my most interesting encounter with Adam West. Yeah, it's the same. It's usually Adam West being very nice, and then Bert being really unruly with just like that with the staff.
Like good cop, bad cop, Yeah,
it worked because I remember an episode Drew Carey show where they played a couple. Was it Drew Carey? They played a couple. They actually played. Both of them actually played a couple.
I thought that was how I Met Your Mother. Wasn't that one, or was it?
I remember one of these shows. They played a couple. They were Batman and Robin were actually married, so it was just hilarious. I'm not sure if it was Drew Carey or was it, but it was like one of those things. But you see it but that's how it is. Usually, you want I hope some people say don't meet your heroes, and thank God. When I met Kevin, he was just such a great, awesome dude. I think the same time I met the gentleman who's now on Star Trek right now, but he played all the interesting characters. His name escapes. Jones.
He super nice guy. He hit my head.
Beyond to me is top gracious person I ever met, because him and Natalie Henstridge, they actually gave they actually bought stuff for the staff because they were hungry and shit. Oh, they're not feeding you? Well, here's some. Here, I ordered some food for you. Dude was Kevin was one of those guys who, Kevin's one of those guys who didn't see him in the corner. He can pretty much have except for New York Comic Con, but at any other conventions, he had the run of the floor. If you didn't have any pictures of him, he could walk the entire floor without any security until that one person. It was over. Phil Lamar, I feel bad for Phil Lamar because he's from Mad TV, so everyone knows him from oh, that's Phil Lamar. That's so much. So you have cast of people running back and forth. Now, my greatest story with Adam West was we got his name. Someone wrote his name wrong.
Was it Adam East?
No. It was just someone put. Someone wrote Adam West, and I don't know if he knew how to spell Wes because it had no T. So that was like, so he was like, so when is Mr. Weston coming in along? I have no idea. When is Mr. West? I actually trying to find this table, and he's right in front of his table, saying, like, where can I find this person? I can't wait for him to get his autograph in front of his table. And all the staff is like, no, please stop pointing to the guy like it's his responsibility, it's management. I mean, a tea, guys. I guess he didn't want to pay for a tea. I don't know what happened.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, it's funny how often that happens when you're promoting a guest and they
he was a pretty funny guy, though.
Yeah,
at least he was a trooper about it, but he was just like, just standing there. I can't wait to meet him.
Oh, I'm sure it happens a lot.
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet this.
It's a difficult name. You know?
I just
like my name, right? It's not like it's a difficult name. West. How do you misspell West?
W-E-S. But it was hilarious because it wasn't me who wrote the things. I was just like, but it's just something you see laughing. Like everyone was just laughing. Get people's names right.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy. You know, but it happens, though. Wow. It happens. You know, people get upset, you know.
Speaking of getting names right, Michael, have you figured out my last name yet?
Can you say it again? Can you say it again?
Sapunzis.
You're making that up. I don't.
Sapunzis?
Yep.
That's like
also, right after Kevin Conroy died, Gallagher died.
Yes.
Gallagher died. Smashed some watermelon.
Yeah,
Gallagher died. So who's next to die?
I don't want to think about
that. So which celebrity is next to die now?
Donald Trump.
Ah, yeah.
That's not lucky.
Comes in threes. Comes in threes.
Yeah. So you had Kevin Conroy last week.
Comes in threes.
Then the
Who dies next?
I like
the colors.
Still an hour and 10 minutes left. So
I love the colors.
Those are showing off. I'll go
hold
next.
on, it's your turn. Let me give you the screen here.
Hey, Tom, you drawing Batman there?
Love that, man.
He keeps going. Wow.
Very nice. That's great.
Nice.
That is great. And
wow.
Nice.
Very
wow.
good.
That's
auction that off.
That's great. That's
I'm trying to make him like do like the what do you call it?
I just
draw
did
the hands do this.
I ran out of space. I did my envelope. That's it.
Yo, mail that, dude. Envelope art, man.
That's for my taxes.
Oh, look at that. I still got my crappy one here.
Let's see. No, that's the Adam West Batman right there, Tom.
Nice.
That's the ad for tonight.
That is, and I keep that up for.
Tom.
Wait, are you saying what I drew as Adam West? That was Batman the Animated
Series. Michael. Tom was showing his drawing.
The Adam West Batman.
I didn't see it.
Was that Kevin Conroy singing "I'm Blue"?
Yeah.
Can I see it again, Tom?
Let's see it, Tom.
Hold up the art again.
Let's see the artwork. Let's see. There we go. That's the iconic Tom Siaka Batman.
What is W? Okay.
Let's,
yes. Let's
I'm
not look
your
at
password.
Blue and gray.
I'm finishing up my Batman.
Classic.
That's
Classic.
Nice. Hold on, Lopez. You drawing Batman too?
So I'll tell you. Hold
like
on.
The Ben Cooper Batman.
That's good. I like that, Tom.
Here. I'm gonna hold up my Batman.
Okay, let's see it.
Let's see your Batman.
That's great, right?
Fantastic.
If I had paper and pen, I'm in a hotel. Eat my nerds.
Right on the Bible. There's one in every hotel.
There should be a pad of paper and a pen.
There's a blank page in the first page. You can just do it on the inside.
But let's say this: Mike isn't an artist in the sense where he's going to carry art supplies with him.
Hey! That's not
Mike
true.
is a special type of
Lopez.
artist, right,
Lopez used to
Mike?
draw Scooby Doo for the kids and all these other characters.
And you draw Scooby Doo.
He's a very good artist.
I am.
Yeah.
You draw
He used to impress me with his little cartoons. He had the Hanna-Barbera. He got those down to a T. It's like the TV guy drawing that turtle. He practiced it so many times he had it.
Oh my God.
You know what? You guys don't laugh. I took those courses when I was a kid. When I was in eighth grade. Those things were great. When I read that Charles Schultz was a graduate of that school, I was like, I'll take the classes, sure.
Was he really?
But, yeah, no, he was. But then when I realized, it's funny. What I realized at the time when I was 13 doing it, I was having trouble with the idea of the correspondence, like waiting for my work to come back. And I liked having like a teacher. But when I got my bachelor's degree, my whole school was independent study. It was just like a correspondence almost. And I've done a lot of learning since that way. I love the correspondence method.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, you guys, let's bring it back to.
I'm gonna draw a real Batman now.
Okay, draw a real Batman. Let's bring it back to Kevin though, because I do want to wrap up soon.
Okay, let's wrap up.
Friday night. Come on.
I'd like to spend time with
What?
It's a Friday night. Come on.
It's a Friday night. Yeah, and I got stuff to do on Saturday morning.
I was watching Morbius.
Yeah, look how excited this is.
Friday night.
You're getting drunk as Mike.
Maybe Grazi's going out to a club.
No, tomorrow I have a tutoring in the morning. I have to tutor someone. So.
You're still working in the morning.
I have a cartooning lesson at 11 a.m.
Why don't we have everyone draw Kevin Conroy? Hey.
Listen, I've never tried to draw him, but I was thinking about that tonight. I'll do a quick. Let's do a quick Kevin. I'm not good at
characters. A quick Kevin. Hey.
And then I'm going to add him to this Batman picture here.
Or you could draw Kevin as Batman. I don't.
That's what I'm doing.
Yep.
No idea.
Yeah, I just reshared that file. It was from when they did the Batman sign. I just put that up on Facebook again. So on my phone, it took me over an hour to find the picture. It took me just a few minutes on my computer here.
He was a New York native, wasn't he? I believe.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a native.
He was like from Long Island.
Well, yeah,
I think he was
like in the city or Westchester, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he told me his
He grew up in
grandmother.
Long Island.
Long Island.
Yeah, he said he would visit his grandmother in the Bronx. I remember he told me that.
The boogie down.
And I love that story of him
I did a quickie
on 9/11. Like
I did a quickie Kevin here.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me give you the screen, Tom.
Let's see.
What time?
Oh, it looks good.
It's like Batman without the mask. It's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Ray's like he's Batman without the mask.
Yeah, very good.
All right.
I like that.
I'm getting a lot of hits. Anybody wants
Kevin,
to see my Con? As we're talking about Kevin Conroy, if you go onto Incredicon HV on Instagram, you can see my posted picture with Kevin Conroy. I did post a little tribute to there, so I'm not drawing Kevin, but
I saw it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, so and I'll post when I get home. I'll post that other thing I was talking about that he signed, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I would have tonight, but
I still have a Comic-Con. I still have a comic convention shirt and a Big Apple shirt of when he signed. Like, yeah, I still have like that. Like, out of anything I have from Kevin Conroy, I have T-shirts. I don't believe I have the
poster
an 8x10 of it of him because I think I gave it to I gave it to like one of my nephews. And
can I share my screen? Gracia?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me get over to it. I was just deleting my version of
Ray worries.
Coming out terrible.
I can't wait to see what Ray does.
Let me see, Ray. You got the screen.
All right, let me share my thingy thing.
Here we go.
Oh, you want to? You're doing it digital?
No. I just want to share I want to share a picture of Kevin Conroy.
Oh, share your screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it pops up.
There you go. Would I hit present, right?
Yep, present, and then it'll ask you to find it.
Yeah, and then share.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. Can you see?
Not yet. It should
Erase
pop
face.
up. I'm looking.
I forgot this computer. You have to have some system preferences thing.
You forgot to do that again, huh?
It's so annoying. I'll show you on my phone. It's easier. It's easier on my phone. Let's see. That's so frustrating. My gosh. That's what I hate about Macintosh. Macintosh is, they're basically trying to like isolate everybody.
Take over the world.
And forcing people to update to their standards. It's kind of annoying. Here we go. This is there goes Tom Siaka,
Paul
Castiglia, myself, Kevin Conroy, and Indigo when he was little. I just think I just like my own picture. Let me undo that.
Don't you hate when people do that?
Yeah, there you go. That's a pretty cool picture. In the Bronx. The Bronx.
Cool. Yeah, that's nice. I saw that today.
Bronx. Bronx, man.
Wait, where in the Bronx?
And that was freaking cold that day.
Yeah, it was
I don't know if
freezing.
you want to answer questions like that.
And this is the Danny Fingeroth and the Tina Finger. We get the
another Concord
on the Grand
Concord Park.
I think I lost some weight. I look really fat in that picture.
And it was very cold that day.
Look those eyes that you have. You look like you're up to something suspicious there.
That's my sinister look.
And you
had Danny Fingeroth. And that's Danny Fingeroth, arch enemy of Chris Duckett.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And that's the Batman
Danny's
fan.
Arch enemy of Chris Duckett.
Who's Chris Duckett? I don't know who Chris Duckett is.
Yeah, that's Chris. Chris is this is the Athena, Althea, Athena's son there, and Kevin Conroy, and then her uncle.
That's great that he showed up for that.
Yeah.
He was a good guy. I mean, like
he was a very good guy.
He was
very friendly.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a
cold
really
day.
It was a very
good.
Tom, was it very cold that day?
It was almost as good as the Stan Lee day.
But did Stan Lee come?
No, that was Stan Lee day with the
Stan Lee was dead.
I had to talk on TV.
Yeah. Tom did the thing on TV. Yeah, that was fun when we did the Stan Lee one. That was nice. Yeah.
You lost Mike.
No, you didn't.
We're all here.
He's there. He looks really disheveled, but this is from that photograph. That's the Kevin.
He's back.
He was unshaven, so I put some spiky. He looks more like a Robert Crumb drawing there.
I'm doing a Photoshop piece. I can't get Kevin's face.
I think this is as done as I want it to be.
That looks really good. Let me give you the screen, man. Come on, get over there. And there you go. That was great, man.
Hold on, go back. That's not Kevin Conroy.
No, well, he's under the mask.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's the guy behind it.
I'll be here forever if I didn't. I did a very simple drawing.
Okay.
Whatever. Kind of like a
I'm
manga.
just going into Photoshop and quick masking him.
Let's do Kevin Conroy AI version of art. Yeah.
Actually, Michael,
it's already out there now. People have been making like AI versions of his art right now, so it's just crazy.
You would appreciate this. This is an old one. It's not Kevin Conroy, but you might appreciate this.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah.
Very nice. One of my favorites.
Doesn't he have a Netflix cartoon now?
It's not real. It's the descendant of him.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's Usagi Yojimbob.
I watched one episode. I never had a chance to finish it.
Was it good or shit?
I wasn't too much into it, but I didn't give it a chance. I mean, when I was recovering from my surgery, I was watching it, so I just was like, you know what? I don't feel like this right now, you know?
Yeah, it looks more child friendly, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely a kid friendly
He's trying to go for the Ninja Turtles money.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, because that character was on Ninja Turtles, wasn't he?
What's that?
Usagi Yojimbo was on Ninja Turtles, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? He was? I don't remember that. I wasn't a fan of the cartoon. I was more of a fan of the comic.
It was like a time travel type story. Why can't I erase this?
Interesting.
Yeah, like
that's right. He did have an action figure too. They did have an action figure in the Turtles.
I have that action figure. I don't.
The way I found out about both Usagi Yojimbo and Jack Kirby was through Ninja Turtles. So, yeah.
But do you guys have the Destroyer Duck figure?
I had Metalhead.
I did not have any of the.
That was Jack Kirby and Steve Gerber.
I did not collect any Ninja Turtles either.
When Ninja Turtles came out, I was 13, I think, on TV, and I wasn't like into collecting the figures or anything, but I did enjoy the show a lot.
Yeah.
I was too busy collecting the Police Academy figures.
Oh my god! Actually,
that was great. I enjoyed that.
I did like the Golden Harvest version of Ninja Turtles. I did like the Golden Harvest. Yeah, the first Ninja Turtles.
Police Academy in some movie recently. I mean, some Comic-Con recently.
What's his face is going to be down in Jersey next weekend, I believe. Michael Winslow.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of conventions lately. I keep seeing his name on some shows.
Yeah, it's time for Police Academy reboot.
No, it's not.
I don't need that. No.
Yeah, you can still get Kim Cattrall to come back.
Comedian back then.
Oh no, we don't need that either.
And Steve Guttenberg.
He'll come back. It's funny with Steve Guttenberg.
Rather super nice guy, just so you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is. My wife loves like all those Hallmark movies, and years ago he did the Santa Claus movie where he played like Santa's son, and he had to like meet his wife or whatever. And it's one of those terrible movies, but I actually enjoy it just because of his acting and how cheesy it can get. Where'd Tom go? Oh, he came back. Hold on, Ray.
Steve Guttenberg was interesting. I just think like if he's in the wrong show, he doesn't get the pull that he thought he would.
Is that Michael Keaton, Ray?
Okay.
I said it looks like Michael Keaton's wager. I'm just gonna rush it.
That looks like Michael Keaton with the lip.
Yeah,
Michael Keaton, if you will.
He's got the Michael Keaton Botox lips. I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta watch a movie with my wife. We started watching the Jared Leto film Morbius, which I like. Talking about that.
Four times it took me to watch that movie. 4 times.
Listen, I will say this: if the ending, I'm not going to spoil it, but if the ending wasn't what it was, I think the ending would have. I think it would have been a good film, like a very fun.
I liked it.
It was decent.
I saw it in the theater, so
it was decent, but I thought the movie itself, the ending was too much like another movie I've seen. Maybe about a character we're talking about today. It had some
Flash.
What?
The Flash.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But it was different. The commercial, he was in prison having that conversation, if you remember. In the commercial, they were in the jail type, and they changed it.
Yeah, it was like a bad edit job. One of the scenes. I remember watching it. That's like it just annoyed me a little bit. That's all, because I'm like it just had a bad edit. I don't know why. I'm just gonna say it like that.
Conversation for another time. We're just talking about Marvel. Any thoughts on
breaking up a lot? I'm gonna let you go. I think it's the weather here.
Yeah, no, we have some rain over
Good movie.
here. We're gonna have rain. It might rain tomorrow too. So
it's gonna rain. Yeah, it's the Hurricane Nicole.
Yep.
Hurricane Nicole.
Let me.
All right.
Right.
Come to Saratoga, folks. I'll be up there. I'll be with Biling all weekend, and possibly Tom Sizemore if he shows up.
Really? He's supposed to be there?
He's supposed to be there in Biling, so I'll be working with Biling.
Wow.
So come by, say hello. We'll be in Saratoga this weekend. Get ready. Maybe we'll even have a special and credit chat with Biling. Who the hell knows?
That'd be cool.
Plug. Go watch my cool 15-minute in credit chat with Daniel Roebuck as we talk about the monsters and classic monsters. That's fun too.
All right, go
please,
do that.
Can you send me a link on that? I really would love to see that because I'm huge with like classic monsters and stuff.
Dan Roebuck was fantastic, great guy.
I gotta watch that. I saw that you did it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I'm so behind on podcasts and things right now. So I gotta get into that again.
Gotcha. All right, I'm out, Grazia. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, man. We'll talk soon.
Batman, Kevin Conroy.
All right, I'm almost done with my picture. Let me see. I'm just looking for the font I want to use because I'm adding some text. And I need that font at this size. And I gotta fix the spacing now. There's my spacing. Let's bring that down to 12. Oh no, let's bring that to maybe 14, man. We'll go up a little bit. Oh, who do we lose now? Tom?
Yep, I keep losing them.
Oh man.
All right, guys. I have to go. I have to do a play test tomorrow. Apparently, I'm doing this game where we're going to be writing soon. If you're into Japanese anime and manga, and it's all about these. You know how in Japan people get killed by trucks and they wake up to another world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically easy guys. So the group that I made my first game with, they're writing another game based on Japanese nostalgia. So
awesome.
it's just gonna be like basically you make a character and you're going to be transported to another world, and it's a fantasy setting. So I have to be play testing that. That's all I could say. So I have to say goodnight. I know it's live. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me on.
Anytime, dude. I'm gonna have you on when you start having your book and stuff coming out. I'm really into, me. I got to get you on the show. I've been talking to you about that.
Sadly for RPGs, it takes. It seems it takes longer than comics to just have one game out. So
dude, one day I'd like to get into doing a gig like you do. That's one of my goals too. There's my Batman, by the way.
Oh my God. I'm gonna miss that dude.
Yeah.
And even at the conventions, man, he was always a cool dude.
Yeah. I'm upset I didn't get to meet him, but anyway, you have a good night, man. We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, guys, and thank you for having me on.
Anytime.
Andrew Frank Rodriguez art, guys, on Instagram.
Absolutely.
I'll take a look for you.
All right. Good night. Bye. So it's just down to 2. Everybody else is weak, man.
You don't have that long game.
Yeah. I mean, listen. My day job.
Yeah.
I work on Pacific time, so my body, living here on the East Coast, working West Coast hours, and then having, like a life. There are days I live. I could be up till 2-3 o'clock in the morning and be fine.
Yeah.
And then go to sleep, but I have to wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. because I have to do something in New York,
Yeah.
So
my day job, my team spans now we just got a dude in South America. 2 new dudes in South America. So one's in Uruguay. So he's like further out than us. And then one of the other guys is in California. So we're like all over the place. And poor guy in California works in New York hours. The guy in Uruguay started doing New York hours, and he's like, I see him at the end of the day. He's like miserable.
Listen. Some days it's hard for me because I don't start my day till 11:30. I work 11:30 in the morning to 8:30 p.m.
That's not so bad, yeah.
But yeah, no, I get up in the morning and I do what I want to do. But my stomach is now on California time. That's the problem.
Oh yeah,
I don't like to eat as late as I do, but I do because that's when.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hungry now, but you know what? We should wrap up. I'm going to ask you to hang out backstage for a moment, but I wanna thank you for coming on. I want to thank everyone for coming on. I want to thank, most importantly, Kevin Conroy. he, I know we sidetracked and we didn't always talk about Kevin, but it's fine. I mean, that's fine to do. I just want to bring this picture up here. Everybody had a story tonight, whether you knew him, you met him at some point, or you just were inspired by what he brought to the character. You know, he's a part of our lives, part of our, I don't know if I want to call it childhood, but my teens. But he's a major part of who my interpretation of Batman is.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, I'm 46 right now. I can live to 200, and he will be the voice I hear forever as Batman. Exactly. So I need, it's weird because, like I said, even though I'm not the biggest Batman fan, that show changed so much, and for me, obviously as an artist, but it changed my style, it changed my storytelling, or my thoughts on it at least. But that voice was just it's iconic. And I watched an interview today, and I didn't get to bring it up, but it was an old interview from maybe 10 plus years ago, and they were talking about why he keeps playing Batman. And he said it's because of the fans. He goes, the studios, listen, you want me as Batman. They're going to give you me as Batman until you stop asking, basically. I mean, don't remember if those were the exact words, but that's what he was saying. And then just a little side note, they were asked, how did he come up with the voice? And he didn't know Batman outside of Adam West. And when he did the audition, Bruce Timm said, hey, listen, this isn't Adam West Batman. He explained the story of Batman and how Bruce's parents were killed and how this child had to grow up and how in him it was just about, protecting others, his getting his vengeance, if you will, because, the whole line, I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman. And when he did the voice, he's like, think of it as a noir type of story. He's like, when he did the voice, he just got the emotions. Like, what if his parents were killed? What if he saw all this? Like, he put himself in there, and that voice where it's I'm Batman, like, just came out, and they're like, that's it. And it was because, and I think this is what makes it great. Batman is so iconic. We know it because we're geeks and stuff, and we hang out in the industry and we know these characters. We grew up loving them. But a lot of the actors aren't from what I've talked to, aren't like diehard fans until they become these characters, like I mentioned Dean Cain earlier. He knew who Superman was, but he was a big sports guy.
Yeah.
He hurt his knee, I believe it was, in college, and that's why otherwise he could have gone pro probably in football. Or he might have played pro. I don't remember the exact story. But, like, I think what was great is he didn't know the character. He knew nothing. He just knew the emotion, and he was able to act it. He didn't go in there once they told him, don't think Adam West, there was no preconceived notion of what he was doing. He just went in and acted, and he was himself, and it was just this organic thing. And I think that's what really made his Batman stand out amongst the other Batmans out there.
In many ways, he basically defined Batman for I would say not just a generation, because like in 30 years, we've had at least 2 generations of kids come and grow up with this Batman.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So like, yeah. And it works that he didn't, like, I mean, granted, back when he started it, it was just at the start of the Michael Keaton era. So like that and Adam West were like the 2 biggest Batman representations outside of comics. And the fact that he just said no, he did his own thing is how he defined the voice of Batman, and it's, I mean, I'll say it. He that show specifically is probably 50% of why I'm doing comics.
I think that show. So okay, I know we were going to get going, but we'll talk for a little bit more if you're okay with that. Here's the thing. That show came out in 1992. Like I said, I was 16 years old. Up until then, cartoons didn't tell stories like that, didn't show things like that. It really was a new way of storytelling, and they're like, oh, cartoons can be a little deeper than what we're accustomed to, and that's when we got like X-Men coming out and all those other superheroes. Something telling a little bit more deep stories, and Batman was. You could have put Batman up on the screen, this version of Batman up on the screen in the 40s, and he would have been successful. They brought it back to um, the true version, if you will, or the essence of who Batman was. And obviously, Kevin's voice is one of the reasons we're really into him. But yeah, it changed. Like, I have a rule with when I create my comics or animations or whatever. I keep everything. I tell myself, this is how I explain myself. If it wouldn't appear in Batman the Animated Series, it won't appear in my book. That's how I look at that. That's my level of target audience. That's my level of, that is, to me, that is the pinnacle of storytelling right there. Like, or I tell people sometimes like Star Wars, I'll say, but it's like, that's the level, for me. Like that, to me, that was the perfect idea of storytelling, if you will, because that idea is what I follow in everything I do.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah. So, and then all the cartoons. This really is what opened up the DC animated universe, which then gave us Superman, who obviously I loved, but and I enjoyed his series, but Batman was a better series. Superman I liked because it was Superman, but the Batman stories were much better. And I enjoyed the crossovers when it changed to the New Adventures of Batman and Robin, and they gave them sleeker designs. And then, they did crossover stories, and then they went to Justice League Unlimited. Batman Beyond was part of it, the Zeta Project, Static Shock, like all that's considered one universe.
Yeah. Now, Static Shock was another good one, yeah. And when he had the crossover in Batman Beyond, it was great.
Yeah. When he did the introduction,
Oh, I kind of want to rewatch that now.
I got to say, one of my favorite episodes, and there's a couple, but one of my favorite episodes was the Justice League Unlimited episode, Epilogue. It was supposed to close up the story, but then they got another season. And it was where Terry McGinnis is an adult now, and he finds out that his DNA was changed to be just like Bruce, because when, like the whole thing.
Right? I think,
she changed the DNA and stuff, but but I think that was just like, that could have gone out on the end, and that was a perfect story. But there's one, and Ray brought it up to me, I believe it was Ray, the other day. We were talking about a Batman Beyond episode, and it was where they tried to make Bruce go crazy. And when Terry asks him, how did you know that you were like trapped in this world or whatever, and that you weren't really crazy? He goes, because they kept calling me Bruce. And he's like, yeah, but that's your name. And he says, no, in my head I call myself Batman. So, and that was like those type of things, those little things were great story.
I could talk Batman for hours.
Well, yeah, that's going to be another night. I do have a tutoring in the morning, and like I said, so just hang out backstage. I'm going to do a little wrap up, and I'll talk to you in a bit.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone who tuned in for the tribute to Kevin Conroy. He will be missed as Batman. You've heard stories tonight who were from people who've met him and what he meant to us. He was just, I know people who do know him on other levels, and the stories I've heard from them, he really was one of the nicest people out there, and everyone loved him in the industry. you know, but now he's no longer with us, and but we'll always have him on our video games, on our TV screens, DVDs, phones, whatever you have, wherever you watch Batman the Animated Series or the Justice League. By the way, all on HBO Max. I have all the DVDs too, though, but I do watch it on HBO Max a lot. This is a show I do go to, and his Batman is one of the reasons. So, to everyone who watched, thank you guys. To everyone who participated tonight, thank you. And to Kevin Conroy, you will be missed. And thank you for all the memories and inspirations, man. All right, you guys, I'll have my show regularly Wednesday. I'll see you then. Have a great rest of your night. All right. Bye, guys.